AMVETS Post 60 and the veterans watching this program would like to acknowledge the ongoing contributions of Conrad Linski, the Post's former commander. Connie has served the Post and the community by acting as the Master of Ceremonies for this program for 10 years. We deeply appreciate his service to his country and to his fellow veterans. Thanks again, Connie.
I am Sergeant First Class Rudolph E. Papa, Chaplain of AMVETS Post 60. Everyone will remove their covers. First of all, what is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who at one point in their life made a check payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including my life. It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, serves under the flag, whose coffin is draped by the flag. I'd like to make one point here. This year is the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. My mother, my father, and one uncle were in it. My uncle and my father were part of 16 million U.S. troops. My mother, working for the Milwaukee Road, was one of 20 million Rosie the Riveters, although she didn't work in a factory. Okay, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always on your back. May the sun shine warm your face. The rain fall soft upon the fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.
Welcome to the 11th Annual Veterans Day Program. I am Conrad Linski, past commander of AMVETS Post 60 and today's Master of Ceremonies. Please stand if you are able for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Our country has 3 days that honor veterans during the year. There are significant differences between the days. Armed Forces is celebrated on the third Saturday in May. It honors the 5 military branches of the country, and specifically those who are currently serving. Parades, open houses, and receptions are typically held during Armed Forces Week. Memorial Day is observed on the last Monday each May. It has been set aside as a day to honor and mourn those servicemen and women who have lost their lives while serving their country. Today is Veterans Day. It is the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. It was at this time, on this date in 1918, exactly 102 years ago, that fighting ceased during what was then known as the Great War. That day was later proclaimed as Armistice Day and first observed on November 11, 1919. Veterans Day is commonly thought of as the end of World War I. But the Treaty of Versailles wasn't signed until June 28, 1919. November 11th, Armistice Day, was made a legal holiday in 1938. And in 1954, that act was amended to change the wording from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. In previous years, when this program was held in person with our fellow brothers and sisters in service, we ask that you identify yourselves by the eras in which you served. Today, while we cannot see each other, know that whenever you served, your service was critical to the freedoms that we all enjoy today. We also would be negligent if we failed to acknowledge the family members of those who serve. It is a group whose support, understanding, sacrifice, and love are critical to all service members. For all the long separations, the missed events, births, weddings, graduations, birthdays, concerts, games, and many others, we thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts. Today's speakers are Stephen Olson, Mayor of the City of Franklin, Alan Willis, AMVETS Post 60 Commander, Peru Knabe, Colonel, United States Air Force, Roxanne Ashcroft of the Quilts of Honor, and Phil Dibb, retired Chief Master Sergeant from the 440th Airlift Wing, Air Force Reserve. Chief Dibb will now present the elements on our POW MIA table.
Good morning. I call your attention here to a small table in the place of honor. It is set for one person. Here is why. All branches of America's military hold dear many symbols of our heritage. This table serves as a reminder of the fact members of our profession of arms remain missing from our ranks. Officially, their status is missing in action, prisoners of war, or more commonly, MIAs and POWs. We call them simply brothers and sisters. For other than in spirit, they are unable to be here with us today. So we take this time to remember them, to honor them, to show respect for their performance of duty and their sacrifice to their country. This table, set for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner against the oppressors. We remember them. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions into their response to our country's call to arms. We remember them. A single rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones who maintain their solitary vigil, awaiting the return of our comrades in arms. We remember them. A solitary candle provides illumination to signify that their only hope is that their country will not forget them. We remember them. The ribbon tied prominently on the vase symbolizes the ribbons worn and displayed by many who continue to bear witness for their proper determination of our missing and unaccounted for. We remember them. A slice of lemon placed on the bread plate symbolizes the bitter fate of the MIA. We remember them. There is salt on the bread plate as well, symbolizing the tears of the families as they wait. We remember them. The clasp on the table is inverted. the MIA cannot be with us today. We remember them. And the chair is empty, for they are not here. We remember them. Yes, remember them all of you who served with them and called them comrades. Everyone who depended on their might and aid and relied upon them in time of need, remember them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Today, for us, the most appropriate way to remember our fellow fighting defenders should simply be a moment of silence to remember our missing but not forgotten comrades. May God sustain them.
At this time, Roxanne Ashcroft will present the Quilts of Honor.
I'd like to welcome everybody that's watching this year. We're doing things a little different, as you can tell. I'm Roxanne with Quilts of Honor. I'm the coordinator for the Wisconsin area group. Today, our first recipient is going to be Michael Kasea. He served with the Army in Afghanistan from 2004 to 2011. And today, Julie will be presenting this quilt. So, come on up.
What I'm going to have you do is just pull this outside of its case, okay? And it is with great pride and honor that I present this to you. All our quilts, we make them with a lot of love and gratitude to show how much we appreciate the service and sacrifice that you gave to secure our freedom. And what we're going to do next is the two of us are going to hold this up and show everyone your quilt. All right. My side is, I'm on the short side here, but and this is Michael's quilt. And I just want to take this and maybe fold it like this. This is kind of new. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over your shoulders and wrap this around you. And there's your quilted hug of gratitude. And then you get one from me too.
Thank you.
Well, today we are going to be presenting a quilt to Richard Dressler. He is an Army SP4. He served in Vietnam from 1966 to 68. And I know they call you Dick, so I'll call you Dick.
Thank you.
Okay. It is with pride that I present this Quilt of Honor to you. Each quilt has been made with love and gratitude to show how much we appreciate the service and sacrifice you gave to secure our freedom. We want you to wrap this quilt around you and to help you know that, that we care. So it brings comfort and love and healing. So with that being said, I'm going to let you pull the quilt out of the pillowcase, which is also called a presentation case. Okay. Each quilt has a label on it. I'm going to show it this way so that the people at home can see. It tells you who made your quilt. It has your information here. It has today's date, the city and state, and it also is numbered. It was made by Wisconsin Southeast chapter, and this is quilt number 615. Before I brought this today, I took a picture of it, and when I get home, I will send that picture to California, and it's all documented with the head. So we're going to hold it up so people can see it. I think this is direct. Oh no, it's not directional, but we'll hold it this way.
Okay.
So there is Dick's quilt.
Thank you.
Yay!
It's quite an honor.
Well, you are very deserving. My husband is a Vietnam veteran as well. So, okay. So if you hold still, I'm gonna go behind you. There we go.
Can you reach me?
There we go. And since they're called a quilted hug of gratitude, I'd like to give you a hug as well. Thank you for your sacrifice and
Thank you
service.
for the honor. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, this quilt is going to be presented to Wayne Amboyne. He served in the Army during the Vietnam War. And Wayne, it is with pride that I present this quilt of honor to you. Each quilt has been made with love and gratitude to show how much we appreciate the sacrifice and service that you gave to secure our freedom. We'd like you to wrap this quilt around you to help provide comfort, love, and healing. So if you would like to pull it out, there we go. And there's the label I told you about.
Sure.
That has Wayne's information on it. And then we're going to open it up and show everybody. I'll let you take this corner. You can drop that one. Yours has an eagle on it.
Very nice. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And now with your permission, I will wrap this around your shoulders
All right.
and I will give you a hug. If you stand still, I'll come to you.
Okay.
All right. Got it? Okay. Thank you for your sacrifice and service.
You're welcome. Thank you for the quilt.
You are welcome. All right.
Stephen Olson, Mayor of the City of Franklin.
Hello to Franklin veterans, your families and friends. It's Mayor Steve Olson. It's a shame that we're not together again this year in 2020, but COVID is what it is, and I hope that you're all surviving, you're doing well with your families, and are happy and healthy. I wish you a good 2020, and we all look forward to a better 2021. I hope we're back together again on November 11th, 2021. You know, this COVID thing reminds me that we're all not as tough as you folks are. You know, some of the service that you've had to provide us, a lot tougher circumstances than we're going through. So that kind of tempers all the crying and whining we've heard from other people. So as I always do, I thank you guys, ladies and men, for your service. That's kind of trite. I thank you for the sacrifices that you've given us. And to my Vietnam era friends, welcome home. I always do that for you because you never got your welcome home. I ask you to remember some of the buddies and people that you've served with that we haven't seen this year. I'm remembering Herb Pollock, World War II veteran, sits behind me in church with his lovely wife, Elaine, every Sunday. Haven't seen him since March. I just saw him. He was getting his flu shot. 96 years old, served in Iwo Jima with the Marines. Still doing strong. So I hope, well, I'll see Irv again very soon, but I hope all of you guys are doing as well as Irv. But a lot of you know Casper Green. Casper's not doing well, but so if you get a chance, go see Casper. But I hope you're all doing well. I wish you a very good Veterans Day. And I hope you have a great holiday season. Let's get together next spring. Hopefully I'll see you at the 4th of July and again at Veterans Day next year. God bless you. God bless the city of Franklin, state of Wisconsin, United States. Thank you very much.
Alan Willis, AMVETS Post 60 Commander.
Thank you, Conrad. Good morning. Welcome to the new world. Welcome to AMVETS Post 60th, the 60th Post 60th, 11th year of honoring our veterans here at the Franklin Library. Today is a very special day. It's a day to honor those brave men and women who have served our nation throughout the years. It is a day to remember the sacrifices those men and women made to keep us safe. Our freedom is our greatest treasure. I would like to thank Mayor Steve Olson for again being a part of this special day. I would like to thank Colonel Ann Knabe for giving of her time to take part in this special day. There are a couple other people to thank also. Ed Thomas, for all the time he has spent putting this program together over the years. And to Sam Olson and his crew for taking the time to do all the filming and editing to make this work. Thank you all. With that, I will turn the program back over to our MC. God bless our veterans. God bless America. Thank you all.
Ann Knabe, Colonel, U.S. Air Force.
18 years ago this week, I stood in front of my daughter's second grade class in camouflage uniform and asked the 6- and 7-year-old kids what a veteran was. One eager young man in the front row said, "Pick me, me, I know." So I smiled and motioned to him and asked again, "What is a veteran?" I was expecting he had a service member in the family. He proudly smiled, turned around to the whole class and said, "They take care of animals. We took our dog to one for shots." Well, needless to say, I spent the next 10 minutes trying to explain the difference between a veterinarian and a veteran, and I still chuckle to this day when I think of my daughter's classmates' response. But I also recognize the importance of reminding all people who veterans are. Over the last week, I've asked a number of people the similar question: what is Veterans Day, with Veterans Day coming up? Tell me what you think a veteran is. I've heard a number of different answers, ranging from someone who died fighting in a war, to a soldier in the Army, to people in the military. Actually, all of these answers are correct. In fact, veterans are defined as those who have served our country in the armed forces. In 2020, there are more than 19.2 million veterans in the United States. Having said that, only 10% of Americans in the adult population have served in the armed forces. Which brings us to Veterans Day. Originally known as Armistice Day, Veterans Day commemorates the end of World War I. November 11th honors all of those who have served the country in war or peace, whether they're dead or alive. Veterans Day, however, is largely intended to thank the living veterans for their sacrifices. And who are these veterans? They live among us, many serving proudly, others having retired and now giving back to their communities as civilians. I'll highlight a few local veterans who continue to make a difference. We're fortunate to have some World War II veterans still with us, like 97-year-old Herman Comfort. Herman enlisted in the Marines in 1941 and was sent to Okinawa, where he remained until the end of the war, retiring as a staff sergeant. Herman still works at a local farmer's market, proudly wearing his World War II hat, and he's known for singing to all who will listen to him. I spoke with him over the phone just this last Sunday. He's still living at home at age 97, sharp as a tack, and clearly remembers working his service to every detail. He ended our call with a beautiful song. And then there's Basil Ryan, a Korean War veteran who is still making a difference today here in the community. He created the nonprofit group 6 Cities Veterans, headquartered here in Franklin. Last year, I had the honor of meeting George Banda, the grandson of immigrants from Mexico. George earned the Silver Star and Bronze Star for heroic actions in Vietnam in 1970. He would go on to earn more awards as a medic in Vietnam, including the Purple Heart, and today he advocates in the community, Latino community and military community especially. I also met Ruby Shoeing last summer. Ruby commissioned as a nurse after college and was stationed in a MASH unit where she served as a post-op nurse tending to wounded Americans and POWs after they went through surgery. Today, Ruby is frequently found sharing her stories of service and sacrifice, inspiring local youth. Our veterans service doesn't end with the Vietnam War. Local veterans would continue to serve during the Cold War and well into the 1980s and 90s. Alex J. Smith served several years in the U.S. Navy as a flight engineer on surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft and is a veteran of what we call the Persian Gulf War. He's now a successful CEO and making a big difference in the local financial community. After 9/11, the role of the military heightened and we saw a surge of patriotism and a whole new generation of veterans. In Wisconsin, we witnessed our Guard and Reserve units called up time and time again to serve in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Southwest Asia. Our reserve component and active duty sailors, airmen, Marines deployed across the world. Dan Buttery, an Army veteran who earned the Bronze Star after conducting more than 300 missions in Iraqi freedom, would go on to start Fisher House here in Wisconsin in his civilian capacity. Other Iraqi veterans bear silent wounds. Anthony Anderson and Tom Voss both served as infantrymen in the Army and both suffer from post-traumatic stress. The two local friends walked from Milwaukee to LA, as in Los Angeles, raising thousands of dollars for Dry Hooch, another local nonprofit. Matthew McDonald, a local Afghanistan war veteran, has raised thousands of dollars and truckloads of donations for Vets Place Central and other nonprofits. And Wisconsin's own Army reservist, Marcia Anderson, now retired, continues to blaze trails for women and minorities after becoming the first African-American female two-star general in the Army. And there are veterans that still serve, that still wear the uniform. The Department of Defense reports pulling service members from every branch of active duty, reserve, and guard in this year's COVID response. From my foxhole, working with the Air Force and FEMA, we saw hundreds of active duty and reserve medics deploy across the nation. Since the pandemic broke, more than 47,000 National Guard soldiers and airmen have been activated in the fight against COVID, while hundreds of others supported operations to ensure American safety during civil disturbances this summer. Locally, Senior Airman Terrence Banks deployed to Kandahar, Afghanistan last year. Early in the pandemic this year, when the armed services started requiring the wearing of masks, and these masks were hard to find, Terrence and his teammates with the 128th Air Refueling Wing used aircrew survival equipment to make masks for the entire unit. Later, he would be activated this summer during civil disturbances to secure the perimeter of sensitive areas that needed protection. To this day, across our state, hundreds of soldiers and airmen continue to man testing stations. They've staffed isolation facilities, deployed to nursing homes, mobilized to support the Wisconsin Election Commission, and even recently activated cyber response teams. To date, Wisconsin service members have conducted 615,000 COVID tests, and more than 700 citizen soldiers and airmen from the Wisconsin National Guard are still serving in the community, directly supporting the state's response. We also see local service members supporting domestic operations across the nation, like the Wisconsin Guardsmen fighting wildland forest fires out west, and reservists responding to the Puerto Rico earthquake in January, and of course the numerous hurricanes. The impact of these veteran service is felt throughout the nation during catastrophes. Among these veterans that still wear the uniform, we see amazing volunteerism in the community as well. Kristen Eckes, a religious program specialist with the local Navy Operations Support Center, has adopted 4 children out of foster care and continues to mentor and foster other families that are seeking to adopt. She also regularly speaks on resiliency to encourage women who are going through difficult situations. And we can't forget the Coast Guard. Petty Officer Tyler White, an active duty coastie based here in Wisconsin, volunteers for funeral services with the Coast Guard Honor Flight, and he also volunteers for honor flights for veterans. He also continues to coordinate community events for needy families, including food drives, Toys for Tots, and Coats for Kids. The list goes on and on about how thousands of local veterans contribute to our national security and community, most often behind the scenes. As you can see, they come from all branches of service and include active duty, Guard, Reserve, and retirees. They all have tremendous impact on our daily lives. Today, Veterans Day, we pause to thank these veterans. They live among us, they give of themselves, and they make our lives better. Thank you.
The memorial, located next to the library, is maintained through the purchase of the bricks that you see in the memorial. We thank all of the veterans who are represented here for their dedicated service to their country. AMVETS Post 60 would like to thank the following people for their help in putting this program together. The staff of the Franklin Public Library, specifically Jennifer Lofer, Bob Kesh, and especially Sam Elzon and Carrie Whitmore. And who recorded and edited today's production. We'd also like to thank today's speakers, Chief Gibb, Roxanne Ashcraft, Mayor Olson, Colonel Knabe, and Commander Willis. Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention who puts this whole project together, and has done this in taking care of our memorial for years since its inception, Ed Thomas. Thank you as well to the members of the AMVETS Post 60 Honor Guard, Chaplain Papa, and today's bugler, Dick Peterson from Bugles Across America. Will the Honor Guard please present the rifle salute? Please join me in a moment of silence, honoring those veterans who gave their all. We will now have the benediction.
Again, my name is Rudolph Papa, retired Army Sergeant First Class. Before I begin the prayer, I'd like to mention 3 World War II veterans that were friends of our family. At my stepfather's funeral, which was down in Wisconsin Veterans Cemetery, my brother was a little late getting there. He was one of the pallbearers. But one of the people, friend of the family, as we lined up and got ready to go in, he ran in there, grabbed the spot where my brother was supposed to. My brother luckily got there just in time to go in with us. And another 2 Marine veterans I recall, in the 90s, we had Labor Day dinner at my mother's house. One of them walked into the door, and the first thing he said, looking at the other Marine, Semper Fi, John. They were part of what is called the greatest generation. Now, let me make an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. Where there's sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Thank you all for watching today's program. Applications for additional bricks for the memorial are available at the library. When you are in the area, please take a few minutes to view the memorial, planned by Eagle Scout and Army veteran Derek McElroy. And you have to come and see this memorial. It's fantastic. Thank you, and God bless you.